So I learned something new today. Apparently, I'm a raging misogynist. Well, apparently that's what happens when a Lando stan doesn't agree with your opinion. Granted, I did also take the mick by posting this, but if that's misogyny, then Jesus, the world really has come to an end. The 2025 Italian Grand Prix was playing out like most other Italian Grand Prix. We had an exciting opening 5 laps, making us think this one might just be different. Then Bortoleto started the DRS train and we all fell asleep. Thankfully, McLaren used their own incompetence to wake us all up, leading to Twitter having an absolute meltdown, the team having to block their own fans, and, well, me as a clown, which is actually quite frightening, isn't it? Let's break this one down then. Question is, where do we even start? The incident itself is a fairly interesting one, so let's lay down the land before we get into this. We're in the closing stages of the Grand Prix, and Lando Norris leads a McLaren 1-2, though both are yet to pit and hand victory back to the hard-shod Max Verstappen, whose win has looked certain for about a millennia by now. In one last throw of the dice, McLaren want to be different by going long on their medium stints and throwing softs on at the end, a decision that Norris agrees to with just under 10 laps to go, though suggests that the team pit championship rival Piastri first instead. Exactly why he'd do this is a little unclear, as while he had a gap to his teammate behind, he did put himself at risk to an undercut if Piastri could fire those softs up, or if McLaren could cock up his stop. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. Alternatively, this could have been to cover off Leclerc in fourth, which was later communicated to Piastri on the radio, or Lando could have been worried about the softs lasting to the end, so wanted a 1-lap delta on Oscar, preventing any challenge from the Aussie in the closing lap, so this all went a bit wrong. Piastri stops on lap 46 then, with a perfect 1.9 second stop. As Lando has promised, there'll be no undercut from the Papaya pit wall. Ordinarily, Piastri would have had no chance, but when the 4-car stops one tour later on lap 47, there's a failure on the front left wheel gun as it tells the mechanic Norris's tyre is secure, though later changes its mind, holding the Briton 4 seconds longer than his teammate. Piastri thus comes out ahead of his championship rival, Zak Brown's head explodes, and the garage go into panic mode. This isn't just any old second and thirds, these are the two men in a straight fight for the 2025 Drivers' Crown, an accolade neither have won before, and considering we have a big shift in regulations next season, never might have a chance to win again. Given this was a mistake on the team side, they asked Oscar to re-establish the order, which he did on lap 49, and everyone's happy. Or maybe not, but we'll get into Twitter in a minute. While now technically able to fight with his teammates, Piastri hasn't got the pace to do so, in a weekend largely dominated by Norris in the McLaren battle anyway. And by the end, both drivers are rather silent on the matter. Oscar doesn't want to say any more than what he did over the team radio, and Lando claims he would have done the exact same thing were the positions reversed. The question is, would he though? The comparison you likely can't escape from right now is what happened at the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2024. Piastri had held a comfortable lead until the pit stops, when McLaren boxed Norris first for reasons unbeknownst to, well, anyone intelligent, making things rather awkward when this led to Lando getting the undercut and appearing ahead of his teammate when the 81 car emerged back onto the racetrack. After several laps, and a new meme every time this appeared on our TV screens, Lando allowed Oscar Bye to take his first win in Formula 1. A win that no doubt he deserved, though one that was still soured slightly by what had played out from the team side of things. On the face of it then, these two incidents seem fairly similar, and while on track, I guess they sort of were. Off track, we have a very different landscape in 2025. In Hungary, McLaren weren't in the Drivers' Championship fight. Now, before you go and write your angry comment about Max Verstappen versus Lando Norris, the Dutchman was 84 points clear by this stage. It's like saying Max Verstappen was still in the hunt at the same point this year. Hopefully that's not too far for the Norris stand's memory to go back. Monza was a completely different kettle of fish, just 34 points separating the McLaren pair, with Piastri being asked to essentially give several of those up over a botched decision he had no hand in whatsoever. Granted, Lando had done nothing wrong either, but this is Formula 1, and sometimes you've just got to suck it up. Still, this sets a rather dangerous precedent going forwards. So Oscar, Lando was a puncture. We're asking you to pull off and slash your tyre as well. We can laugh at these all we like, but on a serious note, what happens if we get to Abu Dhabi and we end up in an identical situation? Can they really expect one driver to throw their title away due to a mistake on the side of the team? You'd like to think the lessons learned from Monza will prevent anything like this happening again, but we said the same thing after Hungary 2024, and look what video you're watching now. I'm realising I've gone a little bit off topic with this script, so let's return to my question from a minute ago. Had positions been the other way around, would Lando have followed team orders and let Piastri through? And this is where my apparent Twitter cancellation comes in. I suggested he wouldn't, on the basis he'd be forfeiting more points in an already tight championship battle he's currently losing. Combine that with the fact he'd lost a chunk of points from his engine-committing seppuku, and how much of a whiny bitch he was in Hungary without either of those being factors, and my lord, you have my case. The Norris fans didn't like that take very much, leading to my first death threat in quite some time. Granted, it's perhaps the most PG death threat I've ever read. More of a death suggestion, really. Bro told you to commit respawn. Well, you live in Soviet UK, so have him arrested for his social media. Good point, I'm sure there's a lovely serial killer just warming up his cell. Are you taking the piss? He would have. He would. I know Lando, he's a team player. Sorry, I didn't realise you knew him personally. Best bear with me then while I promptly go myself. Quote tweets from my other posts were even more unhinged. Post your face next time, I'm pretty certain that'll scare the fangirls away even more. Kind of ironic coming from someone already hiding behind a picture of Lando Norris. Having to put your sub count in your Twitter bio. I think it's time to put the fries in the bag. Her bio claims she's a sugar mummy. I'd argue more artificial sweetener instead. You can't tell me this shit isn't misogynistic. I came really close, I can't lie. As it turned out, I wasn't the only one being cancelled. This poor McLaren mechanic didn't fare much better. Hell, give me the wheel gun. I'd happily do a better job, but I'd love to earn 5 times more than my current job where I only work 3 seconds a week rather than dragging my nuts across for 8 hours a day. Really sounds like this guy needs to be introduced to LinkedIn. This one, plus countless others calling for the mechanic to be fired, was enough to even stir current and ex-mechanics to educate this utter dumbass. Though all credit to them, I think I'd struggle to dumb it down to their level without dying from fall damage on the way down. Hey, at least that would make this guy happy. McLaren then resorted to blocking their own fans on social media, resulting in the Norris stands attempting to claim the moral high ground and blocking Zach Brown instead. Christ, I bet he's utterly heartbroken. Turns out, when you hand 5-year-olds a championship battle for the ages, they tarnish it with shit takes and drive you to the point where you think genocide might not be such a bad idea after all. Jokes aside, and look, I'll be completely honest here, all the comments and messages from the last 24 hours haven't affected me one bit. I mean, I've been doing this job long enough not to give a damn. Instead, I just find myself really wanting Oscar Piastri to win this championship. That's nothing against Lando Norris personally, I just want to see the Lando fans suffer. It's a shame though, when you think we're really underplaying and underappreciating just how good this inter-team battle is. And when one driver dominates the new regs in 2026, I think we'll all start to realise what we were missing. That's my take on it all though, and if you would like to feel a little bit better about your own intelligence, then why not head over to my Twitter? And if you've come the other way round and are busy writing your generic hate comment down below, well, maybe don't watch this video. I'm not very kind to you in that either. Big ups to the members and patrons, they got this one early and get exclusive content every now and then too. Links down in the description if you'd like to find out more. Anyway, I'm off to put the fries in the bag, so I'll be back soon with something else. Until then, have a good one.